I can certainly appreciate that, Richard. Pat, to you, we've got less than 1 minute left, and of course, my panel will stay with me after the break. How do you summarize all this? How do we make sense of this? Does this fit some sort of pattern for you?
Well, what I'm seeing here is they're looking for two crime scenes, because I don't believe this was premeditated over that insurance policy, or he would have drowned Robyn. I mean, it's pretty easy just to pull somebody out of the water and say they drowned. So that didn't happen. So I think they're looking for two. He left that restaurant, she was woozy, something was wrong, and 2 hours later, she's gone. So I believe he took her someplace. She did not cooperate with him. He became angry, so I think that's crime scene one, and then I think he drove further into the brush to try to get rid of her, and then came back and said she went missing.
And for you, that sort of fits a profile.
Absolutely. His violent nature, the fact that he wants to control people, that he wants what he wants, and if a woman doesn't give it to him, he is going to get very, very upset. And I think he was getting frustrated with her. She was frustrated with him, for sure. So I think at that point, something did go wrong right after they left the restaurant. And then he looked for that place for a couple, maybe an hour. Right? And that's why they're looking in that particular area, because they know he can only drive up so far, and then he has to come back. So they know what area they're looking in, but it's still very, very difficult to find where he could have found a spot in there.
Thank you, Pat. Very interesting. Coming up, Pat, I want to take that issue back to you. You had said earlier that you didn't think that was an important bit of evidence. It sounds important to me.
Well, Dr. Drew, I think the problem is with the mind of a psychopath, and my belief is Giordano is expressing that kind of behavior, so I'm guessing he might be one. He's got a very violent tendency toward women. He comes off as a sex predator, a sadistic sex predator. So his kind of mind, in my opinion, is, you know, I'm taking this woman down to Aruba. She's gonna do what I want when I get there. Otherwise, why would I be taking her? And hey, I might as well take out some insurance on you. You never know what can happen. So I think they have half-baked ideas. Now, if he had a full idea of what he was going to do, you would probably see her body in the water. It's, as I said before, it's not that difficult to drown somebody. It's one of the simplest things in the world. You just grab them by the foot and go like this, and they go under, and they go like that, and they can't get back up again, and there's not a lot of signs of bruising or anything else. Very simple. So then you could, you know, bring an extra snorkel along, toss her in the water, and bring a snorkel back and say, see what happened. And then you have to argue over whether it was an accident or not. But because that didn't happen, I just don't believe that was the major issue that happened here. I think something did go wrong at that restaurant. After he took her from there, they went someplace. He wanted to do something. She didn't want to go along with it. Now, I find it interesting that he's given this little, he said where he's been on the island, this other remote area. What tends to happen, in my opinion, is he probably did go to that remote area, but my guess is it was after they left the restaurant, because in case somebody says, oh, I saw him over there, he can say, oh, yeah, that was early in the day. They've got their timing wrong.
Thank you, Pat. Richard, I want to